Hey, good evening, good evening. Hopefully everybody's doing well. I changed my setup a little bit, so I gotta wait and listen. Good. All right, sounds good. Too loud, too quiet? How's everybody feeling about the volume? I put a different microphone up, which is why I'm wondering about it. Hey, Jevin. I may or may not be buying an A7 IV to work with on the channel and to have. And I've been testing and working with the Canon C50, which is right here. Super love this camera. I would actually love to buy one of these. I'm just waiting till my local camera store gets one in stock, because it's fantastic. But you can ask me questions on it, and whatever else. Jevin, yeah, I agree. They need to put everything from the A7 V into the FX2. The A7 V just kind of obliterated the FX2. It's except for the fan, it's better in every way, at least from what I've been seeing. So it's kind of wild. Anyway, if this is your first time on the stream, welcome. This whole stream is about questions and answers, conversation. I answer all the questions that I get in the comments, but I never see follow-up questions after that, or critical criticisms, or people yelling at me in the comments or whatever. So if you have questions, this is the place to ask it, and I will do my best to answer. And people like Jevin or Eddie Nunez or other great people in the chat can answer too. And that's the whole point of the stream, is so we can have a little more of a conversation. I can answer questions that maybe I didn't answer in a video. We can go from there. So I am just about done filming my Canon C50 versus FX3 comparison, which is pretty fun. And yeah, I will warn you now that I'm at the time of year where everything I shoot looks like sunset, because basically the sun never gets high enough to do anything but sunset. Golden hour. So yeah, people are gonna be like, hey, you can't shoot everything in golden hour. I'm like, well, that's sort of all I have right now, and there's a whole bunch of places I go that just don't even get sunlight right now, so it's just shadow of mountains all day long. That being said, it has been incredibly difficult to go out and film anything, because we have had single-digit temperatures for weeks on end now, and we've had about 2 weeks of anywhere from 50 to 100 mile an hour winds. Yes, you heard that right. We've had 2 weeks of anywhere from 50 to 100 mile an hour winds. And I'm not talking about like max gust speed either. That has been the wind speed. So it's been brutal. Like, I don't know what to tell you other than that. It's just been brutal. So anyway, all right. Where are we at here? Live chat. I got to make this. Let me filter this so that I don't miss any messages. Mark H, saw you were here. Hey, hopefully it's a little warmer for you in Minnesota, or at least less windy. Sergio, how's it going? Cozy Drone. Lynn Smith, good evening. Fort Myers, Florida. I've been to Fort Myers. I loved that place. That was really cool. I filmed for a TV show there. That was fun. Hi, MX Hubby. Curious to hear about the A1 feedback, how it's been out for a week in the public. Hi, one. So I have one, and I really want to go do a deep dive review on it, because I've had some very specific questions, and because we've had 50 to 100 mile an hour wind and single-digit temperatures, I can't do anything. Not even just the single-digit temperatures. That I don't care about. I think the drone would handle it okay. As long as I keep the batteries warm. It's the wind. What do I do about that? Yeah. Anyway, so working on it. I am working on it. Let's see. Hey, Rabin? Good to see you. Gary Hegseth, -25 in Fairbanks. Yeah, Gary, I've seen you. You guys have been getting hammered in Fairbanks with cold, and I'm sorry about that. Anyway, Mark H got the kind of concept wide angle. Thanks for the link. Oh yeah, you're welcome, Mark. I've got it. Now I've got 2 wide angles. It's essentially almost the same wide angle from everything I can see. It's just made a little better, and it has a cover for the other 2 cameras on the Mavic 4, which is great. Jebin Dovey. Rabin, Jevin and I are good friends. We hang out as much as we can, which is not very often because we're really far away. But we do try and hang out a lot as much as we can. Anyway, I keep trying to tell Jevin to come up here, and then he keeps telling me I'm crazy. I don't know why. It's 70 where he is right now. It's like minus 1,000 with the wind chill here. I don't know what the problem is. Let's see. Morning, Dewey. Eddie Nunez. Hi, MX. Jevin. King of the world. Good morning from the Philippines. Oh, the Philippines sounds amazing right now. Chronic Photography. Good evening. Jeff Hudson. I think I got everybody. They should have waited to release the FX2. Jevin, I totally agree. But that's kind of Sony's thing. Like, they don't, it doesn't necessarily make sense how they release stuff, but whatever. Scratch Creative. Nice. Creative O. Nice name. I like that. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. TLM Outdoors. You don't worry, Raw. It's actually not that bad. The Canon Raw Light, I mean, yes, it's a heavy-duty codec. And if I hadn't had to do 2 projects this last year in Canon Raw, I wouldn't be considering this. My R5 Mark II did okay, but it would have been a lot nicer if I'd had this camera to do it in. Like, but it does, yeah, it does eat up. It eats up a substantial amount of data. But in the R5 Mark II and in the C50, actually, they've given us a ton of options on codecs and how you want to use it. So I'm kind of impressed. Like, Canon used to be really, I used to criticize them too for being like the cripple hammer king. They constantly left stuff out of their cameras, and it just would drive you crazy because you'd have to bump up to the next level, which was always, thousands of dollars more. But lately, I'm like, dang, Canon, you're throwing stuff like the R6 Mark III has unbelievable video specs and really good photo specs too. So, yes, I will do a comparison between that and the Sony a7 IV when I go pick up that. I'm picking up the a7 IV tomorrow is when it starts to go on sale, and my local camera stop, Stewart's, has one on hold for me, which is another reason I love those guys, and I like to shop local because they're, frankly, pretty dang awesome. So, anyway, no better camera than the new Nikon. We all need Red Raw. Eddie. Yeah, right. Rabin, you would say the a7 V is a huge disappointment coming from the Canon R6 when Canon came with R6 Mark III. Yeah, it's pretty impressive what Canon's doing in their cameras. I have to agree with you there. Let's see. TLM Outdoor single digits. Thank you for making me feel better, TLM. Just rained. 70s. Santana wind kicked in now. Last time you had Tronopil, it would too windy to fly. What kind of a wasted trip. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Crash Cart Rate. That's a bummer. Sold your Air 2S a while back. Now you read it. Want a Mini 5 Pro. Thoughts, or should you go another Air 2S? Truck with T-Bone. I think you'd be happy with the Mini 5 Pro. It's substantially improved in almost every way from the Air 2S, except for one. The photo quality of the Air 2S is still so difficult to beat. It like, that drone had amazing image quality. It really did. I would say in video, I think the Mini 5 Pro wins overall, but in photo quality, I think the Air 2S probably still is just a slight edge, but it's very slight. So I would go for the Mini 5 Pro. It's a substantially better drone in every other way. And use my affiliate links, please. Which I do. Actually, I just posted a post. Amazon has a great deal on Mini 5 Pros right now. So if you're wanting to pick one up, do it. When Jake destroyed your Mavic 4 Pro. Yeah, Jevin. That's one of my favorite clips, though. It's such a shame because the footage was so killer that you were getting. And then it just, the dang tree, man. Let's see. Okay, good evening. Hey, Air Fox. Expensive crash. Let's see. Mac Conroy, you loving your C50 battery drains? Like, yeah, it drains. It's true. It does drain pretty dang fast. But yeah, so as soon as Stewart gets one in, I'm going to pick one up from them because it's a really great video camera. It's really, really good. I've been super happy with it so far. But video will be coming about that versus the FX3 because, of course, I gotta, gotta get those views. Let's see, Air 2S and 3S. Which do you think is better photo quality? Crash cart rate? Oh, wait, sorry. By the way, have you thought of doing a video on color grading photos? TLM? Actually, no, but I'll try and remember to add it to the list. Okay, so while I'm answering questions in the chat, I have 2 questions for you. One, would you like to see some A7 V content? You're going to get some, whether you want it or not. It should be highly entertaining because I'll probably be complaining about the cold a lot. But I was thinking of getting it to go out and do some wildlife stuff with it, and then do some astrophotography stuff with it. Obviously do, comparisons with the R6 Mark III and whatever other, like the Z6 III maybe, if I can get my hands on one of those. Which I know I can because I asked Stewart's if they would rent me both those cameras for like a week or 10 days or something like that. And they said, yeah. Bespoke, yes. A7 V is Sony. And I'm not getting it to replace my R5 Mark II. Like, that is still my kind of hybrid photo video camera of choice. It's a phenomenal camera. But I have needed another Sony camera for an upcoming project I'm working on with a company that I can't talk about. But so, yeah. And even I noticed a little bit when I did the Sirui 50mm anamorphic autofocus lens. There was a few things that I was like, my A7S III is, you're not struggling, but it just wasn't performing how it should. Granted, I've put a bazillion hours and I've put my A7S III through a lot, weather-wise and more. So anyway, okay. So, but before I go into that, so that A7 V content. And then the other thing I was wanted to know if you guys wanted to see is, I've been thinking about putting a video together just about like, these are some of my favorite pieces of gear that I've used in 2025. But not just limited to video and photo gear or drones. Even stuff like my jacket that I wear and things like that. Would you be interested in that? Would you pledge to watch it? So help you God. And stuff like that. Let me know if in the chat if you'd be interested in seeing that. Like some of my most, not my favorite even, but like my most used and favorite top rated gear like that made 2025 survivable. I don't know what else to say other than that. Okay. So Ben Healy, Arc'teryx. Yes, it is Arc'teryx. Okay. So those 2 questions, let me know in the chat. I think it was just 2 questions. Yes, it was. Okay. Let's see. Loving your C50. Oh, we already got that. Color grading photos. I'll try and add one of those to the list. TLM Outdoors. Where you can start now. You're welcome, Paul. How's the C50 without a viewfinder? I have had no problems, but also I operate basically in sunset right now. Like, that's it. I don't get a really bright days. I mean, they're sort of bright with the snow and stuff, but I've had no issues with it. I do run around occasionally with the brighter, like 5-inch screen, the Ninja, is it Ninja? Shogun? I don't know what it is. Anyway, but it works great. Yeah, I really haven't had an issue. Canon puts pretty good screens on their cameras, even though it's small and I have 40-something-year-old eyes. Sometimes I need reading glasses. They put some good screens in their cameras, so I didn't have an issue with it. Occasionally I could see where I'd be like, yeah, I want a viewfinder for like photos, especially. That's typically when I use a viewfinder the most. But yeah, for video, I haven't had an issue. Rabin, what would you say would be the best among Canon R1 or Sony Alpha 1 you're debating? Oh, that is a tough question, Rabin. It's the R1 or the A1 Mark II has a phenomenal autofocus system that is by far my favorite sensor I think that Sony has ever made. It has such beautiful imagery that comes out of it. It's fantastic. The R1 has next level unbelievable low light. And it has beautiful imagery too. I've used one for a little bit, not very long, but like a week, and it just, yeah. I like the A1. It's a little smaller size wise. The R1 is quite, considerably larger and heavier, but also the R1 is like put in a bulletproof body that you could throw underwater and swim with just about. Don't do that, but you could almost. So yeah, I mean, really, it's a toss-up. I think it's more, do you want more photos, like higher megapixel photos, or do you want that insanely clean, really good low light? Because it does have, it just is insane low light. Autofocus, I think, is like 6 and 1/2 dozen at this point. They're so good, but yeah. So Rabin, I would say, first off, what lenses glass do you already have? If you have more lenses and glass in one ecosystem or the other, I would go with whatever you have more lenses and glass in. That's where I'm sitting, kind of a weird spot, because I'm really in this, like, I have a foot in both worlds. I have a couple of FX6s, A7S III, I have a bunch of lenses for Sony. I've got a Canon R5 with a bunch of lenses for Canon. It just, yeah. So the Sony stuff right now, I primarily use for corporate work, interviews, stuff like that. And the Canon R5 Mark II is the one that I've like gone out and shot a lot of stuff outdoors with, and I shot for IMAX this summer with it, and I shot for another documentary with it because they needed RAW, Canon RAW. So yeah, the A7 IV, I mean, I'm getting it to do a lot of content with on YouTube, but also I think, I don't know where it'll fall. And, maybe in a month or two, like, you might be able to pick up an A7 IV from me on a really good deal. It's hard to say. So, yeah. Picked one up. Scalper price for the Mini 5 Pro. Nice, Mac. Good. Glad to hear that. How would you rank Nikon, Sony, or Canon from least to greatest, all things considered? Chronic photography, that is tough. I would say for person autofocus, for people autofocus, I think Sony is probably top right now. Canon it's a kind of a toss-up between Canon and Nikon for wildlife. They're both fantastic. I think Canon maybe leads just by a hair right now. Sony has the best low light performance, period. They just do. That's the reason I'm thinking about working on the A7 V is the low light for some Astro Aurora stuff. I think Nikon and Sony have the best lens choices for sure. Huge lens ecosystem. I think Sony is probably top for creators and people looking for a budget because they've opened up their mount system to third parties, so you can pick up Tamron lenses, which operate fantastically well. They have some shortcut limitations, but not a lot on Sony bodies. Nikon is king if you want to adapt glass to it, though. If you want it, you can adapt anything to the Nikon mirrorless mount. So it's really, I mean, it just depends on what you want to do with it. Like there's so many things. Yeah. So anyway, have I ever used external storage on my drones? No, none of them work that way. Yeah. Few Anchor power banks get tested with C50, see provide power delivery. It will, Paul. Yeah, it will. I've done that, and it works great. Hey, Jeremiah. A7 V is Sony. Yes, it is. Marion, Vegas. Hey. Robin, yeah, me too. I would prefer the C50 over the R6 Mark III simply because I do run a lot of long-form interviews. And that's kind of where this is going to fall in, is because a lot of people that I do long-form interviews with for clients, for corporate stuff, they now want both vertical and horizontal, and this will do that 3:2 ratio open gate, and so that's why I'm getting it, because it makes my job much simpler, and you can do the dual framing at the same time if you want to. Love to see everyday gear. Let's go. Cool. Awesome. Yes to both. Yes, you promise. Thanks. Crash Cartwright, $10 super chat. Oh, thank you very much for that super chat, Cash. I will work on those videos then. Yeah. And I'm going to have a bunch of gear for sale. Like every year I kind of go through everything and do a clear out of stuff I haven't used in a year or more. There's a few things I don't sell like that, but I do kind of generally, if I haven't used something in a year and it's not some very specific specialty item, And I'm like, it needs to go. So, yeah. Anyway. And I'll probably announce that on Twitter or X and on a post here. Like, if you want to pick up some of my used gear for a pretty dang good deal, I'll post links to it from there. Bespoke. Did I get to your question, Bespoke? Oh, external. I think I did. Okay, Lynn, awesome. How come you haven't grabbed one of the Meta glasses or Ray-Ban or Oakley's? I don't like those things, Eddie. I don't, yeah. Adrian from Los Angeles. Oh, Bespoke. Are these cameras about to make videos better than the R5 Mark III? No. And that's kind of what you'll see when I talk about the FX3 versus the C50. It's like every camera in the last 5 years, the image quality is really good. Like, it's really good. It's more a limitation of you and how you use the camera than anything. That's the thing. I'm like, which makes it hard to review cameras, because it used to be you could go like, this camera has substantially better image quality or substantially better autofocus or whatever it was. And now it's just kind of like, they're all really good. And it's hard to, like, they are really good. So yes, the autofocus improves. That's kind of what I'm curious about with the A7 IV. Like, it has the new AI chip, which I use in the A7R4 5. And another camera in it. Like, it is good. The AI autofocus thing Sony's doing is great. But yeah, anyway. So, but no, the R5 Mark II has phenomenal video. It does. Rabin, sorry to put you in a hard place with that question. Oh, don't worry. You're a Canon guy. Have an FX3 to match second shooter, so looking for a backup. I think either sell the FX3 and go the C50 or other uses Sony. Wait, what's the other Canon camera you have, Rabin? Or what's the other Canon cameras you have? Because like I'm looking at this going, the C50 and my R5 Mark II with the fan grip is probably going to be my A and B camera. Well, A, B, the R5 Mark II, for interviews. And the FX6, I don't know that I'll sell it, because I do get asked for it a fair amount for documentary stuff and a few other things. So, well, maybe I'll sell one, because but we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. That's the other thing I was gonna ask. Would you like to see like FX6 review? Is it worth it still in 2026 kind of video? Like, and I'll show you a bunch of the footage and stuff that I've shot with the FX6 over the years. So, and if you haven't noticed, like, I'm going to be pivoting a little bit away from drones. Honestly, like, I got the DJI Neo 2 now. Finally got one in, and that I bought. And so all you haters in the comments can suck it. Like, I look at it, I'm like, that's probably the last DJI drone review I'm going to do, because they're going to get banned in 6 days. So, not banned, but they're not going to be able to get any new ones approved. And I don't think I'm going to buy an Avata 360. I don't know. I don't see the reason for it. So, anyway. Got a Mavic 4 Pro. Total drone newbie. Is the control system basically the same as Mavic 3 Pro? Yes, it is. Essentially very similar to a Mavic 3 Pro. Very, very similar. So, yes. If you look at my Mavic 3 Pro settings, it'll get you in the ballpark. And, yeah. Louis, will you be able to buy DJI products after the 23rd? Yes. Currently approved products will still be able to be sold in the United States after the 23rd. But it may get more difficult. That's why I've been encouraging you, like, if you have the money set aside already and you've been eyeing a DJI product, I would get it now, sooner rather than later. Because who knows what's going to happen? Dear Lord. You're a Canon guy. R3, R5 Mark II, just got it. But it is fire, and the R5, R5C, C70, only one FX3. Dude, yes. I don't even know why you're thinking about getting a C50, man. I mean, yeah, if that was me, I would stick in the Canon ecosystem and pick up a C50. I'll be happy to send you an affiliate link if you want to use one, but yeah. Yeah. I agree with you, man. The R5 Mark II, if you haven't seen my review of the R5 Mark II, it's, I think, one of the visually most stunning videos I put together. because the camera shoots insanely beautiful photos and video. It's pretty wild. So, yeah. Actually, I'm excited to go out with the R5 Mark II this winter and start doing more astrophotography with it a little bit. So, TLM, waiting to start making money with your cameras, EVE10. Any thoughts on where to go to start besides YouTube? Also have a couple of GoPro Hero 11s, Mini 3 Pro, and Mic Minis. I mean, YouTube's a good place to start. Do you have a portfolio yet? Because that's going to be the one thing you're going to have to put together is like some spec projects so that you can show people what you're capable of. And what I encourage people to do is like pick 5 like spec projects that you're going to do for free. Whether you have friends who own businesses or, you know, businesses that you frequent that you have good relationships with, that you'd be like, look, can I just shoot you a quick promo video and that sort of thing? And then put together those 5 things, and then so you have something to show other people. That's what I recommend. And then, but after 5, assuming you have the quality that you can start to charge for stuff, which, you know, I mean that's well, highly dependent on a lot of factors, but then after 5, I don't recommend doing any more for free. Like even if you're doing things for a pretty low rate at the beginning or something like that, like only do 5 for free. And then from there, you need to charge. Your time is worth something. Let's see. Anyone see iPhone or DJI? I did watch that, Jeremiah. I did. Marianne. So after the December 23rd, DJI will no longer be able to get new products approved in the United States. That's what the ban is currently. So, David, how many camera bodies do you think qualify as a professional? I've been stirring the DSLR mirrorless pot. I tend to think professional rule of thumb is body lens combo costs at least $2,000. I mean, I would say a professional is somebody who makes a decent amount of money or even their whole living off a camera body. I think the camera body and lens combination is significantly less important than the skill set of the person using it, because I've seen incredible imagery produced with really cheap cameras. So, yeah. Typically what happens is if you start with really cheap cameras or drones, whatever, this applies to just about everything. You start for really cheap stuff. You just have to work a little harder to get it to look good, to make it work, to make it look good. The advantage, like you can, you know, and then you upgrade to like that, you know, say like Z6 Mark III, R6 Mark III, A7 IV, A7 V, that kind of realm with maybe some, maybe not necessarily G Master glass, but like G glass or, you know, not necessarily L series glass, but just like that slightly better tier of glass than the kit glass. That's a significantly higher step for investment. And for anything from there, like you're going to be able to produce really good looking results. The difference is when you upgrade to much higher end bodies or much higher end glass, for the most part, is not that it improves the image quality that dramatically. Like you have a diminishing returns as far as investment versus what you get out of it. You know, instead of like a 70% improvement in image quality going from a kit lens to a, you know, L series lens or something like that, or GM lens, you get, you know, like a 5 to 10% improvement, but your cost just went up exponentially. So the difference there is, what's going on? YouTube's telling me to insert ads. My bitrate is going all over the place. Hang on. Let me turn Wi-Fi off, see if that helps. Sorry, I know it's all jittery. Let's see if it comes back. Maybe it's back. It's still okay. I mean, it looks like it's a little bit better. Maybe stabilized a bit. We'll see. Hopefully that, I don't know what was going on there, but anyway. So anyway, you get a little bit of improvement versus the amount you probably, Mark, versus what you're investing. But what the difference is that it makes there is it makes your life easier. AKA, you don't have to work as hard to make the images look good. I hope that makes sense. I probably should do a video on this. gear does matter. It absolutely matters, but not in the ways most people think. So anyway, yeah, there we go. Okay, I got to get caught up. You guys are chatting like crazy. It's awesome. Please keep chatting. I love it. Hello, AF. What about images? Bespoke? Not sure what about images. Oh, no. I mean, the R5 Mark II is going to be a solid top-tier camera for years to come. It produces incredible. Satis, have I traveled? I have, yes. I actually grew up in Nepal. So, yeah. Ever dropped a camera lens? What's the worst damage? I've dropped several, and I've had to send both off to get repaired. I dropped my A7S III with my 100 to 400 GM lens on it once, and it broke the lens. The GM lens broke pretty severely. It ripped the mount off the A7S III body, and it's something else. That was very unfortunate. Another time, again, so both of those went off for repair that time. The next time I dropped my A7S III was with the 24 to 105 on it, and the camera actually came through relatively unscathed. The lens did not. The lens had to go for repair, and I think I did have to send the camera to get repaired because I think the sensor, like the IBIS system in the sensor, got kind of like stuck or something like that. But that one was like brutal because I opened the back of my car. I didn't realize the camera. I don't know what happened. Anyway, and all I know is I opened the back of the car, and then all of a sudden I just saw my A7S III cartwheeling down the driveway, end over end, and then parts and things flying off of the camera and the lens, and it was painful. So yes, I've I've dropped several. Yeah. Just upgrade instead 360. What a difference overall. Nice, Kayak. Glad to hear that. Sorry we missed it. Air 2S, Air 3S. Which one do you think is better stills quality, especially for low light? Air 3S crash cart right for sure, and the low light especially. DJI Neo 2 looking to see many videos. 50% say they'll confiscate immigration. No, that's I don't know about India. India does have very different drone rules, and I'm not familiar with them, so I couldn't tell you that. Yes, Marianne, you will absolutely, even if they retroactively ban, that only means people can't sell it anymore. It does not mean your drone is no longer allowed to be used. Your drone, the one you have now, will always be allowed. You will always be able to use it, like, period. Unless we go into, like, some bizarre World War III where they have to, I don't know, but yes, so. Scratch. No, Scratch, you'll be fine. That's fine. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. I wish you'd used my eBay link because Jevin and I are kind of competing on who gets more people to use their eBay links right now, and I'm a little behind, but that's okay. I forgive you. You didn't know that. That's fine. But you'll be fine. Mike B, yes. Hang on one sec. I will give you an affiliate link. I will happily give you an affiliate link. Let me see. Nope, post. That's what I wanted right there. And Mike B, you actually are doing great. This is a great time to do one. Because right now, Amazon at least has a... Oh, I got to do this. Dang it. So, Mike, I'm going to give you a Genius link, and you'll have to click the Amazon link in it, if that makes sense. Because the Amazon link is too close. Wait, Neo or Mini 5? What were you doing? Mini 5. Let's see. There you go. If you want to buy a Mini 5 Pro, click that and then click Amazon and you should be good. Winter is pretty nuts out there. Or actually, I could do this too. Whoops, I can't do that. Wait, can I do this? Can I not? Oh. I guess I can't. Never mind. Okay, yeah. So click that link there, Mike, and you should be good. Let's see. Rabbit, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. Band can it still be registered to make money with? Yes, Louis, it can. Yep. Because the FAA stuff is, and remote ID registration is completely different than the FCC stuff. And those FCC is the one that's doing the quote unquote ban, but it's only for future products. So, yeah. Scott Balcom, who is graciously lending me a set of lenses right now, and I got to see the other day. But yeah, someone you said right in the Canadian airport. Yeah, Scott, no kidding, man. That would be a killer right next to like Toronto or something where everybody from the U.S. flies in and just like they can fly in, grab their thing, turn around, and fly right back out. And it'd be like killer idea. Third party camera battery chargers. Chronic photography for which camera system? TLM, I mean, honestly, like, well, I'm going to be putting together some of those kind of courses over the course of this winter and then selling them. But honestly, like, YouTube is going to be your best friend. Just, like, go down a, rabbit hole of the type of photography you want to do. David Martin Graff, in the 80s, the term professional photographer, you could count those people on one hand, maybe two. Color grade the film, put it in perspective. Oh, I know, yeah. When I first got into photography, when I was a very young lad, still in my teenage years, I worked with a National Geographic photographer. And, yeah, I helped him cull 35 millimeter film slides and a lot of things that we did work together on, and it was fascinating. It was a incredible experience to learn from him, and let's just say I'm glad we don't have to do that type of stuff anymore. I like digital. It's really nice. I do miss some things, but not a lot. Okay, Randy, use your eBay link to order Mini 5 Pro, 5 days Korea. Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Quick upgrade of the Mini 2. Can't wait. Awesome. Randy, congratulations. Okay, let's see. Grew up in Nepal. Raman, you're from Nepal? Awesome. Yeah, so I grew up in a village called Bertabang, which is in the Baglung district. And also a village a little bit farther northwest of there called Nishi, which at the time, both those, neither one of them had running water or electricity. Now you can drive all the way to Bertabang and Nishi, I think. And they have cell phones out there, which is weird. The last time I was out there, I was like, this is bizarre, because when I was a kid, everything was just rice fields. Like, me and my best friends, Nepali best friends, I still talk to this day. We'd be playing in the rice fields as kids. And, but yeah, it was awesome. I loved it. I unfortunately have forgotten most of the language, but if I go back, anytime I go back, it starts coming back. It's still there. I just don't use it. So it's not, I was fluent, had no accent, everything. But yeah, so anyway, that's cool. Namaste. Yeah, Kastocha. Tiksha? Anyway, yeah, moving on. Sherbets and Tuk Tuks. If you had to stop by DJI drone, what we buy, if any, right now, Johnny Drone Flyer, it's really tough, man, because it's DJI and Autel are both going to be on that list. And honestly, there are no other options that I see at the moment. So I would probably start looking into custom building my own, because I custom build my own FPV drones already. And I think with a little tweaking, I could get something usable out of a similar frame. But it would be a considerably more difficult thing. Jeremiah, how much do you use with 35 millimeter lens? Lens? Is that what you're talking about, Jeremiah? Jeremiah, freeform panorama mode? Yes, and it is cool. Actually, Jeremiah, everybody listening who has a Mavic 4 Pro, I need to do a video on this. The best thing is to use freeform panorama mode on the 2.5x camera. You get just, it's so cool. The depth that you get in it, and it like, it's, and then of course you end up with this huge, awesome photo with tons of detail. It is one of my favorite ways to shoot panos. And they're not even that big panos, but you get this really sweet photo out of it. So yeah. I use it every single interview, probably. Yeah, pretty much every single interview I do, whether it's corporate or not. Like 35 is kind of my go-to for like the wide shot. Unless I have enough room where I might go to the 50 and maybe a 135, but otherwise it's the 35 and the 85 are typically my two like interview shots. I use it a lot. Yeah, 35 is I like that focal length quite a bit. Is the Skyrover X1 worth it, Louis? I mean, I haven't heard anything bad about it, but I also have never used one, so I can't really comment on it. I think it's a pretty decent little drone, but yeah, it's basically DJI, but not. But it is. Fit to Nepal after 30 minutes documentary. Jeremiah. Right? I think, yeah. I do need to go back. It's been it's like 20 years since I've been back. I think the last time I was there, maybe 2007? Probably the last time I was there. My son has gone back twice now. My son has gone there twice. So you got to see where I grew up, which is cool. But yeah, I would like to go back. Strongest feature benefit of the C50, Scott? Ooh. Man, that's a good question, Scott. The strongest feature of the C50. Honestly, I would just say, like, straight up the image quality. This sensor that Canon has put in here and the R6 Mark III is really fantastic. I really, really like shooting with it. Yeah. I think that would be it, man, for me. Like, it's got a really beautiful image. It comes straight out of the camera. And that's kind of where I am. I'd say this. So the strongest feature benefit, though, would probably be honestly, for me, it's the 3x2 mode. Being able to do 3x2 so you can vertical and horizontal at the same time, capture full 7K, but in a H.265 codec is really nice. So, yeah, it's really, really good. What camera am I using now? Right now, I'm using the R5 Mark II with a 20mm lens on it. You guys want to see the C50? Got it set up just for this. Oh, F22. Yeah, no, that's not going to work. Wait. Wow. There we go. Control. All right, let me get this set here. There we go. And there we go. Okay. Whoa! Look how bright that is. Why is it so bright? Oh, that's why. Hold on. I'm getting there. That'll make you guys sick. I gotta remember what button I assigned this to. There we go. There we go. And now it's a little too dark. So the problem is I got to remember what buttons I have assigned to what on here, and it's not easy to do. Was it here? Nope. What did I assign that one to? So weird. How's that? Maybe that's better. There we go. That's a little better. Anyway, so this is C50. Right now, the only stabilization on it is optical stabilization in the lens. So, it's not bad. And I'm at 16mm. So that's one thing with a lens with or a camera with no IBIS is it helps to get rid of the corner wobbles that would be up in here. In this area, so it does a little better. Actually, most of the studio is actually kind of clean, so I can show you most of it. usually this whole area over here is just full of stuff piled there that I've thrown off as we go. So anyway, C50, nice. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. I like it. I'm gonna have to pick one up because it's pretty dang good. So yeah, this is just the Canon Rec 709. It's not C-Log 2 or anything like that right now, but I have been shooting a bunch in C-Log 2, which is nice. So, but like, look, if you look at this, like, so you can put a framing guide on there for vertical if you want. And other than the fact, like, I'm still trying to learn a lot of the Canon cinema menus because they are deep, very, very, very deep. But there's like, yeah, here. So you can go here, Express. Wait, where was that? Normal recording. So that's like where you switch between slow and fast motion. The slow motion on this camera looks really good. Where was that? Yeah, they give you a lot of options. So you go like intraframe, you go long GOP, which is a lot lighter codec. And intraframe, you can choose all your different bit rates. Of course, you can do raw, standard, HQ, or light. Where was that? Oh, that's all focus stuff. So it's got to be back over here. Sorry, I haven't remember where half this stuff is. Anyway, there's a lot. There's a lot in this camera. It's really, really strong. I guess, there we go, full frame. So we can go 3x2. Oh, I wonder how, can this, oh yeah, there we go, 3x2. There it is. 3x2 versus 16x9. So get your 3x2. Let me do this. I'll see if I can hold this at the same spot. Basically the same spot. Okay, so there's 16x9. There's 3x2. Whoa, a lot brighter. look at how much more room there is up here. It's like 16x9, 3x2. So it's, you know, if you do a lot of that kind of stuff, it's a fantastic camera. Let's see. Seems kind of bulky. Bespoke? Well, I mean, yes, because it has this whole fan section back here and the screen. Like, so it's a little bulkier than an FX3. Not a lot, but a little bit. But it does feel good as far as holding it. It feels great. I'll probably get some sort of cage for it just because, you know, it has a kind of the same setup as the R5 Mark II, where it's a CF Express Type B card and then a SD card, which is great. But yeah, I'm very happy with it. And my favorite is the old timecode port. Love when they put a dedicated timecode port in, because like the FX3, you have to buy a special adapter cable and then you have to kind of pull it out and post. It's a pain in the butt. False color in the C50. I like it, Paul. It works well. I haven't used it a ton, but it does work really nicely. So, AirFox, okay, -10 so far. Nice, good to know. Cold and stays on the entire flight. Okay, good to know. Good to know, AirFox. Man, you've been doing some heavy testing. Briz Whiz. Well, not cold enough. Oh, it's plenty cold where I lived. Something just shut off. That was weird. I thought I saw a light. Like, anyway. All eye on the creator combo. Yes, that's true, Jeremiah. That's true. Like the built-in 512 meg creator edition. Nice, Mark. I didn't know you got that edition, but I love the internal hard drive of the creator combo on the Mavic 4. Slow to getting into YouTube stuff. You weddings here. Nepalese programs found C-Log 2 is way easier to work with than C-Log 3. 100%. C-Log 2 is so much easier to work with than C-Log 3. Plus, you get more dynamic range. But I love working with C-Log 2. I tried using C-Log 3 one time and hated it. Yeah. Okay. Jeremiah answered that. Leaning towards C50, love C70. C70 is really nice. But yeah, I think the C50, I think you'd be happy with that with some of the lower compression codecs. Like if you're just sitting and filming people sitting around, you don't need these all intra, like you can use a long GOP on that at that point. Like it's just, you don't need all that extra data. Cinema menu on the C50 Mark H. So it's just taking me a bit to wrap my mind around the cinema menu. It's kind of the same thing with the FX6. Like they have a cinema menu in there, and it is very different than the like hybrid cameras menu system. It's the same Canon cinema compared to that, but I like it because it gives you a really great level of minutia of detail of what you want to adjust and change. It's just, it takes me a bit to get there because I don't remember where everything is yet. Nikon Z Red or FX3? Louis, at this point I would do the new Nikon series because the FX3 is getting kind of long in the tooth, honestly. But if you have like Sony glass, then FX3, man. How to do 24 FPS Aurora, Scott? That I don't know. I want to try that out. So the last time I tried to do an Aurora with Canon, I didn't have any 1.4 lenses. Now I have the 20 millimeter 1.4. So I want to try out. I think it would do okay because the 6400 base ISO is pretty decent. I mean, you would still have to push it probably up to 16, 20-something thousand to really do it justice, but I think you could do it with an f1.4 lens and it would look okay. Tutorial on video codecs, when to use them would be useful for you, Jeremiah. All right, I'll try and remember that. So this winter, I am pushing to get more tutorial type videos out and less reviews. I don't mind reviews, or I'll include tutorials in the reviews. Yeah, I'm trying to get, yeah. Anyway, so hopefully I can get some of that in there. Jeff, you agree on codecs? Yeah. What type of shots do you use a C50 for as opposed to other cameras? Marie Sterling. So this would be a fantastic camera for sit-down interviews because it's the built-in fan. Excellent camera for that. It's great autofocus for that too. The other thing I would use this camera for is on top of my big FPV drones. Like I shot a bunch for IMAX this summer using my R5 Mark II on an FPV drone, but not having IBIS is much better for that. So I had to, it made things more difficult having a camera with IBIS than this camera would have made things on an FPV drone. So that for sure. On a gimbal, this camera would be great on a gimbal. Because like even IBIS on a gimbal, you can get these kind of micro jitters where the gimbal is moving slightly and the camera's trying to correct for it, and they kind of fight each other a little bit. So you have to turn IBIS off, but just not having IBIS at all would be fantastic. So like those are kind of the use cases of like the C50 would be, it's a great A and B interview camera for sure. Small, lightweight package, especially, and that's the other reason I'm looking at this going, when I travel to remote areas of Alaska, I need to be able to take as small and compact a system as possible. And I'm usually doing both photo and video. So if I had this for an A camera and my R5 Mark II for a B camera and photos, like I'd be set. And that package together, like both of these cameras together with the fan grip on the R5 Mark II, take up about the same amount of space as my FX6 does. So like that is a big improvement there as far as size-wise. So yeah. Do you think with bracketed shots for interior architecture provide good images, right exposure over and underexposed? Do I think bracketed shots for interior architecture provide good images, right exposure, underexposure? Yes, they do. In fact, I had to shoot a very high-end golf course one time. They asked me kind of spur of the moment to get some interior shots of their dining room, which was this super dark wood with windows and very shaded around the outside. So it was very dark inside. It was in Palm Springs, so it's very bright outside. And so I took what was I using at the time? I think I was using A1, the Sony A1, and I bracketed everything, like 5 bracket shots, 2 over, 1 neutral, 2 under, various, and then combined them and was able to get some, they loved it. They were thrilled. But I was like, I don't have any lighting. Like, I really had to temper their expectations, but they were very happy with the stuff I did. So And that's, yes, do it. Just don't have anything moving in the shot. Mark H., thank you very much. Merry Christmas, brother. I really appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much. Canon R5 Bespoke, it cannot film video in 3x2. That's one thing that sets the Canon the C50 and the R6 Mark III apart right now, is that those two can film 3x2. Open gate is what it's called. And not many other, like no Sony cameras can. Well, at least no normal people affordable Sony cameras. So yeah. Lynn, what's my advice to somebody who wants to get a drone but doesn't have any depth perception? Get one with good obstacle avoidance. So a Mini 5, great. Neo 2 does okay. I don't think I'd do that. Mini 4 would be all right. That's what I would do. One of those. Mini 4, Mini 5 is what I would recommend. And depth perception isn't such a big deal because you're still only looking at a mono-ocular feed. You're not looking at a stereoscopic feed, so you'll be fine. Does it feel better in my hands? The R5 Mark II feels great in my hands. Like I like the way it feels, and so but I have fairly large hands. Can you revisit the topic of DJI and what's happening in regards to the ability to use their drone software within the United States? El Picta? Yes, I will. Give me 1 second just to catch up on the rest of the chat, and then we'll close out the video or live stream talking about the DJI issues here. Jeremiah, first topic, first tutorial title: how to become a successful Alaska videographer and not default on your mortgage. Yeah. Oh, Lord, that is true. Bespoke, wait, what doesn't film it, but it does take pictures? The R5 Mark II films and takes photos. It just doesn't film in 3x2 mode. It'll take photos in 3x2 mode, but it will only film in 16:9, if that makes sense. Hopefully it makes sense. All right. El Picta, so we'll close out the live stream because it's already after 5 and I'm running, stuff and things. Okay. So the DJI ban, Farouk iPhone did a great video with Adam Welsh from DJI, but here's where we are right now. December 23rd, DJI will go on the FCC covered list. What that means is they will not be able to get any new products with any wireless communication approved for use in the United States. What that doesn't mean is that anything you own currently or buy between now and then, that will cease to work, that DJI won't be able to give you firmware updates or anything like that. Everything that is on the market currently in the United States has been approved to work in the United States. So that won't change. Even like the Mavic 4 has been approved, the Mini 5 has been approved, the Avata 360 has been approved. They're not for sale in the United States yet, but they are approved. They have been licensed by the FCC to work in the United States. So even if you own those products, they're not banned. The issue is that DJI will not be able to get any new products. The Action 7, the Pocket 4, I think the Pocket 4 actually, I think got FCC approval. I think I saw a rumor about that. But let's see, the Air 4, that will not be able to be approved. The Avata 3, Mavic 5, Inspire 4, none of those will be able to be, sorry, Mavic 5, yes, Mini 6. None of those will be able to be approved in the United States. And so now, if you went out of the country and bought one and brought it back in, would it not work? No, it would absolutely work here. Like, that's not how things work or operate here in the United States. The FCC can't, shut specific things down. So the only kind of question right now is the FCC voted to give themselves ability to retroactively revoke licenses. But the issue is they have to do that. They have to put out I think a 60-day comment period. And then there's a whole bunch of process. So you're talking like honestly, probably like a 6 months to a year process for them to actually retroactively ban, or not retroactively ban, but retroactively revoke a license. Here's the thing. If you already own the product and it had a license that was approved when you bought it, you are fine to keep using that product. There's no, like, they're not going to come after you and shut you down or anything like that. So, and that's kind of why I've been saying, if you have the money, I'd never advocate for people going into debt, but if you have the money set aside now and you've been looking at buying a Mini 5, Mavic 4, Air 3S, whatever, do it. I encourage you to do it before the 23rd, because potentially things may get more difficult after the 23rd. What will happen is, if the FCC decides to retroactively revoke licenses, say for the Mini 5, then all that means is that retailers in the United States won't be able to sell Mini 5s anymore. And DJI obviously won't be able to sell Mini 5s in the United States anymore. That does not stop you from getting firmware updates or operating your Mini 5 or anything like that. Just so I hope that's clear. And by all means, if you're going to buy any of those things, use my affiliate links, please. So I hope that makes it clear. The ban that everybody's talking about right now, as everything looks, it is likely, like 199.9% chance of happening, is that DJI will not be able to get any future products approved for use in the United States, because they will be on the FCC covered list, which means the FCC will not grant them licenses for any devices that use wireless communication. All devices that are currently approved and any devices that you already own will not automatically fall out of the sky or stop working or be bricked or anything like that. And you are still legally allowed to use all of those items, because when you bought it, it was an approved item, even if the FCC goes and retroactively bans it. Honestly, like, the only way I could see the government saying anybody with a DJI drone may no longer fly it is if we are in a, like, World War III type situation, which at that point, I don't know. I don't even know. So, anyway, that's where we are. Now, the reason DJI products have been difficult to get in the United States is nothing to do with the ban, which is not really a ban, them going on the FCC covered list. The reason they have been impossible or very difficult to get into the United States is a completely separate thing. Someone, likely a congressperson who could not get their outright DJI ban passed, told the Customs and Border Protection Agency that DJI was using slave labor. It's connected to the Uyghur Slave Labor Act, which is, they were accusing DJI of using their drones to spy on the Uyghurs for the Chinese government, and then or using the slave labor themselves to create their products, to build their products. So that, because of the Uyghur Slave Labor Act that Congress passed years ago, I don't remember how many years ago now, but because of that, then U.S. Customs and Border Patrol has been blocking all imports of DJI products until DJI can prove that they are not using any slave labor or doing essentially what they've been accused of, which is using slave labor from the Uyghur people. The problem is that then, from what I understand, and this is just completely from what I understand, not like any sort of official anything, is they have not been able to get anybody to actually go through their stuff with them, where they show where, basically essentially every single component of the drones their stuff is made with, so that none of it's made with slave labor. Anyway, it's a mess. That's all I'm going to say about it, because otherwise I'm going to get on a big political rant, and which, by the way, involves people from both sides of the aisle. So, Tech in Motion, thank you so much. Merry Christmas. Thank you very much for that. I really, really appreciate it. Modern, what's the Avata 360 dropping this month? Picking up the Avata 2. It's not going to be for sale in the United States if it does drop this month. I don't think it's going to drop this month, because there's been no teasers about it. And now we're like Christmas, New Year's, So I think if anything, it'll be January sometime. But yeah. Scratch Creative, it does make sense to buy extra propellers, batteries, etc., because it may only get more difficult to get those things in the United States. James Precious, you're lucky in Canada. Yes, you are. In fact, I think I'm driving from the lower 48 up through Canada next spring sometime. I am probably stopping at a Best Buy to pick up some stuff on my way. Anyway, Merry Christmas, Tech in Motion. The Air 4 Air 4SB release. It'll be sometime like second quarter of next year, spring of next year sometime. That's the guess. So, but yeah, that's my best guess. You're welcome, Mark. All let's talk about bad things are for DJI. Nobody's happy for Skydio. They can finally relax the low price of $500,000. Jeremiah. Yeah, no kidding. Let's see. There must be 100 videos on the truth about the DJI band TLM outdoors. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. And frankly, a lot of them get it wrong. Random name. Yeah, it's not just Brink, though. There are other companies that have been advocating for banning DJI. But yeah. And it's not just the drone companies advocating for it either. You know, there are politicians who want to score some political points. And, yeah. So anyway. Purchase secondhand overseas. Use it here. Disappointing we won't get the future product lines. Innovation reaching new levels. Mini 5 Pro. Agreed, Ilpika. And that's where, honestly, like, I'm looking at it now going, like, the Mavic 4 is a phenomenal drone. I could be very happy flying that drone for 5 years. Assuming I don't destroy them all. But the Mini 5 Pro is a phenomenal drone. The Air 3S is a phenomenal drone. I am very happy. The Inspire 3 is a phenomenal drone. I will be and can be very happy with those drones, with what they can do, with the image quality they produce, their flight times, all of that for the next 5 years. And that's just kind of my mentality going into this. It's like, these are the drones I have for the next 5 years. You know, maybe by then, DJI will be back in the United States somehow, or a manufacturer here will get their heads out of their butts and make something for normal people who can't afford a $50,000 drone. So, David Markgraf, yeah, basically. How do you find your affiliate links? They are like literally any of the videos. Like if you have a product you want to buy, search my channel for that product, and then you can click on that link. But honestly, too, like if you just want to get like you want to do any shopping on Amazon, you don't even have to click a link for that product. Just click one of my Amazon links, and whatever you buy on Amazon, I do get a small commission of, which is super appreciated, especially if you're doing Christmas shopping and stuff like that. So like literally you could click any link on my channel that has, you know, a link to Amazon, and then go find the product you want to buy, Mini 5 Pro, whatever, and then buy it. And that works the same as if you went and found my Mini 5 Pro video, clicked that link for Amazon. It's the same thing. So hopefully that makes sense. Skyrover is gone from Amazon. Interesting. If I press the links, no, bespoke. You have to actually make a purchase for me to get money, not just clicking the link. That doesn't do anything. Hi, MX. I'm using Canon R5 Mark II with a Sony, the VCM 20mm 1.4 for my stream right now. Affect all DJI products. This will affect all future DJI products. Anything with wireless communication, which is basically everything nowadays. So, yeah. All DJI products has a wireless ready. Yes, exactly. All right, folks, I'm going to wrap the stream up with that. I think I probably will stream next week, even though it's Christmas Eve. But we'll see. No promises. So if I do, it won't be from this location. It'll be from another location. So, but maybe we'll do an impromptu stream on Christmas Eve and hang out for a short bit and just, yeah. Anyway, you can fake 3x2 Mark 5 Mark II. Yeah, I mean, you could film in 8K and back up and then crop in the sides. But it doesn't really make sense to do that. Just back a little farther up and crop. So, all right. Yeah, that's going to do it for me. Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you have a phenomenal next few weeks, the end of 2025, and enjoy a lot of time with friends and family over the holidays. And, yeah, might see you again next week. I will be putting out some videos in the next couple weeks for sure. That is not going to change. But David Mark Graff, that is complete BS. DJI has been asking the government to do their job, and the government has not been doing their job. So, yeah. DJI has been begging for a year for them to complete the audit that they need to complete, and so far the government has stonewalled them on every front. So that is complete BS. It is 100% our government and our government entities that are causing this issue. So let's see. IMX, do it and use my affiliate links. Anyway, Merry Christmas all. See you again soon in the next video. Till then, be safe, be smart. Cheers, everybody.